Welcome to this channel. So in the past few days, I have shared the details in the breathing training of the 1850 Shilin Tao sets. And I have shared that the training of 1850s Shilin Tao sets breathings. Today, we know we can map it into sport science, namely the lung capacity, the respiratory muscle training, the intra-abdominal pressure training, and we can look into it using VO2 max as an indicator. And after that, I have received many messages from our Wing Chun friends and traditional Chinese martial art friends. So they are asking many questions, and I sum it up their questions, and I will like to respond to it with this video. The first thing, many of our Wing Chun friends and traditional Chinese martial art friends ask me what their teacher teaching them is not accord to what I present in the Wing Chun Inception book in terms of the transportations of the breathing. If you watch my previous video, and how the force exerting. So my answer always is like that. Number one, this book is written based on what is the ancient Chinese teach. That is not my opinion, not up to me. Whatever the ancient Chinese technology, it is whatever it is here. So anybody do not accord to it, then it just that they do not accord to it. So it is like law of physics. If you are not accord to the law of physics, then you are not accord to the law of physics. So technically, it's just like that. And I don't want to get into whose style or which teacher, because those things is about personal or politics. This channel is for educations. So if you read my book and whatever who practice is not accord to it, you know that it is not what the ancients teach. And thus that you will not be able to get the result which is shared in this book on what the ancient is practiced. So make things very simple. So not asking me, oh, my style is this way, my Sifu teach me this way, I talk to my Sifu, and then all kind of stuff. You see, those are personal stuff. I don't want to get involved on that. For me, I am just presenting what is the ancient technology of the ancient Chinese. As for what you learn from your Sifu or how does it works in your system, you need to ask your Sifu. Because you are the one who chose your Sifu, so you have to respect him. Serious, you have to respect him because you ask him to take you as a student. So you need to talk to your Sifu instead of talking to me. I don't want to play the third person there. And as what I said, I just go by book. Technically, and in the reality, even with the old timer in the Cho family, I do the same. It doesn't matter who is your sifu or who learned from what, who teach what, and so forth. That I don't want to know. I just go by book. Is it what is it in the teaching of the ancient? If it's yes, yes. If it's no, no. Make life easy this way. So there's no gossip, there's no put down. Okay? So that is the reason why I transfer this to the West. Here on, we know that like the principle of Sir Isaac Newton, it is physics, it is physics. Okay, so I hope that this is making really clear. Whatever here is according to the Chinese medicine, the Chinese uh, Qigong teaching, and the I quote the source of where the thing is based on the ancient classic. Okay, and if it's a sports science, then I quote sports science. So I hope that this is clear. Okay, here on, please do not ask me about your style because I don't want to give my opinion on it. Do not ask me about what your sifu teach you because I don't want to give an opinion on it. If you have issue with your sifu and your style, asking your sifu, not asking me. I don't want to give my 5 cents on your style, which I don't understand. And if anything violating this, that means it violating that. In the ancient, people practice it this way. If you're violating it, you're violating it. You might want to ask, why are you violating this? But again, it is based on technical. And it is not up to me to ask your sifu why he violate this and that. Or why do your style doing this or that. There's no comment from me, okay? Hope that this is really clear because this is important. My job, which I take on my missions, is to transfer what in the ancient China to the America. The rest is not my issue, and I don't want to get involved. Okay. Now, the second thing is there's a questions of asking after I share the breathing of the 1850 Shilim Tao sets, the 3 type of breathing, the respiratory training, the that which involve the intra-abdominal pressure and so forth. So there are many Wing Chuners ask me, so are we going to obsolete the 1960s Shilim Tao sets? Because the 1960s Shilim Tao set do not offer this type of training. And in fact, it it actually traveling on the different direction or opposite directions. So I like to share with you. I don't like to obsolete anything. I do not like to obsolete anything from any lineage. I encourage everybody, every lineage to preserve your stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you a new Shilim Tao set, which is now Daniel is working on the video, so that Shilim Tao sets be able to get everybody, disregard of lineage. Look at this as an education. If you practice that sets, then all this basic of the breathing and the intra uh, abdomen pressure and so forth is take care of. It satisfy all this thing. And so it is like a vehicle that is satisfied the basic, and the rest is how advanced one can go. But for most people, at least that satisfied the breathing training of Wing Chun 1850, satisfied the handling of the body. Okay? So, but whatever you have in your lineage, do not drop it. Just you can look at it like an antique. Like in say 60 years ago, when you have a ruler, you have the wooden ruler, which is you can wrap up. Today we don't use it anymore. We're just using the laser light type of ruler, or even your iPad. You just take a picture and then it tell you how long is that stuff, how high. We don't need to throw those uh, things which is in the past generations, like the ruler, the wooden ruler. Just keep it. It's a part of your legacy. And not here to destroy people's legacy. And I want people to keep their legacy because we need to remember where we're from. And with this question, people say, well, about this structure and so forth, tucking tailbone. I say, well, you know what? At that period of time, 60 years ago, maybe this is needed. Maybe it is a solution for those who live at that time. It's like the ruler, the wooden ruler, which is you wrap up and then you can just pull it up. But today, everybody is using laser. So it is a new era, a different era already. So we are not throwing things away like the Chinese Cultural Revolution where they say, well, dump everything. No, we don't dump everything. We just put it into the storage or into the museum. Who knows? Some days we might come back to re-examine what is this if we miss something. It's just like the 1850s Xulim Tao writing and everything. 60 years ago or 40 years ago, even those in Cho family, they look into the 1960s version of Wing Chun. They think, oh, that is the it. And uh, seriously, I tell you a story. 1976, there is a classmate of mine who studied the 1960s Wing Chun. And then he go to school because he studied in Europe somewhere. He go to school and he told me, oh, Sifu doesn't know this. This is the way. So he showed me this high bong sao, all those kind of stuff. This is how we do it. Because he went to Europe, he learned that, and he become assistant instructor. So he come back to Penang, Malaysia, and he visited the my Sifu school, and then he told me that. Okay, so even that happened, I know what happened, and then some classmate who is the Honga Sifu were thinking, oh, if this is using the iron wire sets of Honga, it would be better this way with the 1850s Xulim Tao set. But today, once all these things dig up and arrange it up, you see that they miss the thing left and right. Okay? So this is reality of life. We don't damage, we don't destroy people. We want to progress on. The older I am, the more I feel that it is a tragic of what happened in the Chinese Kung Fu. Thus, right now, we cannot do cultural evolutions. because that damaged the Chinese culture. We need to give everybody a voice, a chance for them to present. And so if we don't understand anything, we put it in the museum. Later on, there might be some smart cookies come and say, hey, Hendrik, you're wrong. This is this, this is this. It could be. Who the hell am I anyway? It's just like a few days ago, I'm checking with my Garmin VO2 Max. And then checking with the past 6 months is 50 something. And I said, how come all my Sunto, my Polar and everything show me I'm only 30 something, which is in the above average, not the superior, which is my Garmin told me. So I went call up Garmin and they fix it for me and I look at it now is in the 37, 36, 35, so it's between the average and above average. So that is a reality too. And I have to take it. I have to tell you the truth because we are dealing with technology. And as what I said, the VO2 max is not like oh, I have a advanced VO2 max of 56 and then I'll be grandmaster. No, it's not like that. VO2 max depend on your body, your age, your gender, also your genetics. Okay, so VO2 max is not the ultimate either, but it is a good indicator to see should we do that thing. If we don't have a VO2 max of above average, then don't get into sparring. You know it's problem, okay? Because you don't have the stamina. So this is reality. Either we speak the truth, we walk the truth, or we don't. And it is not about personal, like I want to build this, it's like my way, or I am building myself as, no, I mean, it has to be open for everybody, so everybody's equal, right? And for the tucking, the tailbone, those type of stuff, it is a problem. 1960s Wing Chun Tao. Today, everybody is copying the 1960s Tao. As what I told you, even my older classmate in 1976 said, well, this Tao is not right. You have to be doing this way, this way, this way, tucking tailbone, lifting anus. So in the 1970s, people copy things left and right because there's a movie and it's so convincing that it's true. But now you know it is a problem. Why? Let me tell you one thing. Today, if you go to investigate on sports science, on the torso handling, often it is analogy as a cylinder. Okay, so the idea is when it comes to the intra-abdominal pressure, the idea is, say you have a Coke, the Coca-Cola can. If the Coca-Cola can is upright, you can stood up on the Coca-Cola can and you won't pop it. However, so the Coca-Cola can is like a cylinder, right? I don't have a can here. 1 second. Okay, this is better. So it's like this is a cylinder, right? Now, if this cylinder is upright and this is proper, you can stand on top of this, and this cylinder is perfect. Or if you can think about this like a Coca-Cola can or the soft drink can. Now, as soon as this can, if it is tilted one way or it is pushing into like have a edge inside there, you stand on the top, this entire thing will collapse, will pops, okay? Now we know that, right? I mean, we can stand on the when the Coca-Cola can, oh yeah, this can of soft drink can can uh, can support my 180 pounds. But as soon as there's a crack or a tilt in of the can, then you stand up, the entire thing or pops, right? Now, okay, the reason why I'm saying this is in today when it get into the intra-abdominal pressure or talking about the torso, you're always using the analogy of the Coca-Cola can, okay, or cylinder. The ancient Chinese, they don't, of course, they don't have software. They don't have Coca-Cola 300 years ago or 200 years ago or in the red book, right? So they call it bucket, like the water bucket. So the Chinese in the Mandarin is called 筒子, bucket. So they analogy this torso as a bucket. Okay. So this bucket must not have like a have a cut inside or so forth. This bucket has to be round. So that is the bottom line of when they train their body so that they be able to take pressure, take hit, take impact. 童子劲 is called. And of course, this internal pressure, the intra-abdominal pressure stuff, of course, come with the breathing pathway. And of course, you get into the respiratory uh, muscle training. And also, we know that, today in anatomy, we know that, we have the ribs here, but over here, this so-called 丹田 area, this is all actually there's not much, you don't have bone or anything. So it's all this muscle, and one need to develop this muscle to be able to support your spine and of course your diaphragm and your pelvic floor muscle. Okay, now so this entire thing is called a bucket training, okay, or bucket jing, bucket force training, or bucket strength training. So it's like the cylinder like that. Now, if this bucket over here there's some crack or something, it's going to burst when you have the pressure there, apply pressure from outside and so forth. So what is that? Hernia. And another thing is that you're going to screw up your spine. Okay. So in fact, in the 童子劲, when you twisted your spine and so forth, people sometimes say, well, you just blown your bucket force. So today we know, okay, and that come to this is the 丹田. This is a 丹田 area, like a ball, right? Because you don't have bones here, you have all muscle. So this entire thing from your pivot floor up to your what do you call it? Your diaphragm in the middle here. If you look at it, it is a ball. It is a big ball, right? So that's what the training. And when people talk about oh 丹田, how you handle this, how your body is become cylinder, how you handle this, and of course you have to have a proper uh, breathing, which is synchronize your pivot floor and the diaphragm. Now, as soon as you don't know that, you get into this or pushing forward this entire thing, like your soft drink can is no longer that cylinder. It might be like that. It might have a weakness here or somewhere. Okay, so like people say, well, you have the tilt in your tailbone, and then you just are using straighten your spine. Well, now you got a problem because your spine. So who is going to protect your spine? Well, in the ancient, it said 童子静. That's why they use the so-called reverse belly breathing, 逆呼吸法. That 逆呼吸法 or reverse, like the forward breathing is like when you inhale, it expand to the entire cylinder. It exhale, it just contracting. But the reverse is not. The reverse is when you inhale, it squeeze in. It squeeze in. It just put the pressure in. That's the reverse breathing. So all this thing we know today by scientific, why is that happen? And because we know it, only that we can train safely. Otherwise, we have no idea what it is. And we don't want people to go try and error. And so as well as say, even after 60 years, you try and error, you see that this is no longer a cylinder because your breathing cannot go down. You don't have to handling on the intra-abdominal pressure. Your back is uh, taking the force because you want to use a spine power or anything, and then you clamping your knee, and the entire thing, you no longer have a cylinder. That's how dangerous the thing is. Okay, if you look at it in today's sports science. So I share this with you is to tell you that whatever events internal long time ago, say our ancestor in Red Book 150 years ago, today is no longer secret, it's no longer advanced. Okay, it is just basic. And that's why, like in this book, my next book on the Wing Chun breath work, I want to get all this component in. No point to screw each other. This is a reality. Okay. So the breathing pathway, the bucket jing, this is all Shaolin stuff. And this is all the ancient Chinese culture 160 years ago, they know all these things. But today, after the chaotic situations in 1900, the Chinese changed the language, the cultural evolution, and the Taiji marketing. This thing is wiped out. So today, if people tell me it's in the yi, not in the qi, I ask him, so what qi? Do you know how to breathe? Do you know about how to handle this intra-abdominal pressure? Do you know how to train your respiratory muscle? Do you know your VO2 max? Don't you know that why you screw up, cannot face Xi Xiaodong? Why you are so why you are so screwed up that you couldn't even face the Western the sports science? I ask people that way. While this might sound like I'm very brute and coarse, no, the ancestor is not teaching that way. So why is this has to be using your yi, not using your qi? What to talk about qi when you don't even know how to breathe? You don't even know how to handle this thing. Go check in the YouTube, the writing for past 100 years. Did anybody talk about this? How often people talk about this? Can you find information of this? In Asia, I know this, not I'm genius, because there are many Sifu I went visit and teach me. Okay? And he show me, and I look at the signs. Since I'm an engineer, I look at it and say, oh my God. And when I was young, I'm really, really afraid of getting hernia. Why? Because left and right, my classmate, be in Kung Fu, in Kyokushin, get hernia. When they get trained really hard, those are good fighters, get good operation. For me, it's, oh my God, why is people get hernia? Okay, that's why I got this phobia, hernia phobia. That's why I look into everything. So, oh my God, now I know what the heck is going on. And not everybody can train this hard. Like your VO2 max, you have a gene issue there. If we are not built for fighting, to be a warrior, that's not to be a warrior. You can be Buddha, you don't have to be warrior, right? Everybody have a mission. Not everybody have to be the same superstar. And superstar come with a different type of field. You don't have to be a general, you can be a Buddha. A Buddha is not a general who go fight, in the battlefield. So this is what I like to share with you. And this is technically what need to be watched out. If you're keeping still doing this, you know your cylinder or your bucket is not trained. Face it, you cannot face MMA. You cannot face today's Western sports science type of training because your body, what you think is internal, like the 丹田 qi, the using yi, not using qi, those are the things screw you. Okay? So that's why I ask all Wing Chuners, brothers and sisters, drop all the Tai Chi stuff. Those things today is proven that it is disaster because Western sports science can check you. If you say you have this mysterious magical gene, take a test. And that's why finally I say, let's check our VO2 max. Okay? It's okay, even my VO2 max 20. I'll tell you too. Why I get old, I get sick. So what's the big deal? The big deal is we know who we are, we can work to improve it, and we know what we can do, what we're not supposed to do. Why? Bottom line is our health. We have to live for ourselves. We are not living for other people. And if we don't care how to live properly, who is going to care for you? The most is your mom, right? The mom is care for us. Who else? So this is what I like to share with you, okay? And I just talk straight. This is what happened, and do not obsolete your lineage. This is reality. We live in a human world, not in a movie. Nobody is perfect here.